Hi, let's talk about sex. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to be unconventional. I'm going to talk to you about it from bed, right? Just brings it all back. So, ah, boom. We are going to talk about that really isn't very dark, huh? Can you see that at all? Let's see which color shows up the best. No, I thought that pink would be good. We might just have to use the black one for now. Yeah. So, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that will be. Okay. So, if you have followed me at all on any of my other socials, my podcast, Patriot Princess, Do Something Different, I just recently started a community on Facebook called the High Vibe Tribe, and my YouTube channel, Hunt for Healthy, where I've been going around looking for healthy things in America predominantly and in the world. And I have been called by Spirit in my awakening to really bring the light, shine light on how sacred sex has been manipulated and used against us to cause us to hold negative energy and trauma in our bodies. Sex, sacred energy exchange. Sacred energy exchange. So, what that means, folks, is that everyone, you are sacred energy exchange. Everyone that you're having a sexual encounter with, there's an energy exchange from their womb to your womb. Mm-hmm. Right? So, if you are on one vibrational level, you're giving your energy in one way to your partner. And let's say they're on a very different, lower level vibrational energy. They're giving you a lower vibration, which is held in your tissue. Water is sentient. Water holds memory. We are 70% water, and you are exchanging fluids with somebody during sex as well. Now, what is happening to all of us that we don't realize is necessarily going on is not just the encounters that we're having in our life, but we also have generational trauma, that's passed down through DNA from our ancestors, past life trauma that comes down from the other incarnations we've had, and our current life, current incarnation trauma. All energies that are passed down into our womb. And think about the structure of a woman. When you think of the weight of everything that your everything settles in the womb, right? The womb is actually your center of consciousness. When we talk about gut reactions and things like that, your gut also is your other brain, but your womb is your center of creativity and creation. Hello, it's a portal of creation. This is part of the reason the patriarchy is taking our power away, is because they don't want us to know that we have literally a portal to the universe in our womb. So what do? Fill it up with trauma so that it's less powerful. Because when you extract that trauma from your tissue, you have a much clearer path to your creative life force. Your chi, your sexual energy is your life force. So you get all this stuff passed down, and you end up carrying a bunch of stuff. It wasn't yours to begin with. that you have to weed through. The past life stuff, oops, excuse me, confirmation burp. The past life stuff that you don't necessarily know where it's coming from unless you dig into that past life stuff, and then your current life stuff. So this is where it takes you to the root cause of issues and how we cannot actually heal anything or eliminate it from the body until we know what the root cause is. Like, it's coming from this life, a past life, or is this some generational shit that wasn't mine to carry in the first place that got passed down to me unknowingly? This is the generation of, this is the lifetime of generational curse breakers right now. We're all waking up on purpose to shift consciousness in this world, and we're being asked to heal this stuff so that we don't pass it down to the next generation, right? To heal it and change it. So, but unless you know this is going on, how are you supposed to do that? So this is where the past life regression therapy and communication with your ancestors is going to come in handy. Now, I need you to know that every single one of you, when you hear us talk about, I'm a shamanic energy healer, I'm a psychic medium, everyone is a channel. Everyone has a channel to your ancestors, to your inner knowing. We're all pieces of God, right? This is what Yeshua and Mary Magdalene really taught, and what's been hidden from us is to go within. The kingdom of heaven is within. You are all God's. You will do these things that I've done and greater. He didn't come here to teach us a religion. He came here to teach us an ascension. And that is what is happening right now that has been hidden from us, because the powers that be, the elite that have been able to control us and feed off of our energy, can't do that when we're in high vibration and we know what's going on and we know how to protect our energy and we don't fall victim to being controlled anymore. So sex is a really big way that they are doing that, and that's accomplished, and that is specifically, there's so much more to it, but that's specifically what we're going to talk about today. And pornography is a big part of it. It has been put in place really to manipulate what everyone's ideas of a sexual exchange are. And it's taken away the sacredness away from sex. When you have an orgasm, it is literally actually a portal to God, a connection to God. When a female especially has a true orgasm, you're producing DMT. You can produce DMT in your brain and receive prophetic visions. You don't need ayahuasca or DMT to get there. Sure, you can do that, but you can actually do it through an orgasm as well. And that's why the orgasm has been cheapened. That's why we're taught this like wham bam thank you ma'am kind of situation as well, where it's not an extensive pleasurable experience. And there's also been a level of shame associated with men, that if you can't last all night, you're not a real man. That's not the truth. Um, there's so much. I came into this without an agenda. I really was just called to speak to you about it tonight. But we're going to talk about how we work on that. And ladies, part of it is orgasms. I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of years faking them. I think I have had one real almost orgasm with a sexual partner in my life. I don't know that I've ever actually had one to fruition, like fully with, okay, maybe like two. Had like two. Um, in my life. And was faking them for so many reasons. Predominantly to make my partner feel good. Because it was kind of like, this is just, maybe if I hype it up for him, it'll work better. Like, I thought it would help if he thought I was having an orgasm, I guess. And it's performance based, what you're taught it's supposed to be like. So you just kind of put it out there. I also spent a lot of years in relationships where if I didn't have an orgasm, I got this like guilt trip of from my partner of, well, obviously I can't please you. Obviously I'm not good enough for you. Obviously I don't know how to do it right. It wasn't like, oh, let's learn how to please you. And if I tried to give pointers on here's what I like, here's what I want you to do, it was more of a instead of thank you for informing me on how to pleasure you, it was more of a, well, then you just do it yourself if you have to tell me what to do. It's like a defensive, right? Defense mechanism. Um, but here's the thing: we get numb. I'm gonna move this computer back because I see it wobbling as I'm talking. Um, when we do that, or sorry, part of the reason that we struggle with them is a numbness. Am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one. We get numb and can't have the full feeling because of the trauma that's trapped in our tissue. So when you're with partners where you feel like you can't have an orgasm, it's not necessarily always their fault. And again, not anybody's fault, but there's a numbness in your tissue that's actually preventing you from connecting fully with it. And that numbness is the trauma. And that is, think about the other ways that we numb ourselves in life, addictions, with alcohol, with food, with phones, with whatever, gambling. Those things are used to numb something that's going on inside of you, some sort of trauma that's going on inside of you, some sort of disconnection that you can't figure out. So we end up having a numbness in our tissues that we have to work out. And the way that you have to work that out is by having actual orgasms. So I wonder if you've heard the phrase, you have to feel it to heal it. So you have to allow yourself to feel things to heal them. So if you're not actually feeling orgasms, you're not healing the trauma in your womb. And one of the ways that you can do that is masturbation, especially if you're not with a partner. And I know for me personally, it was hard for me getting into sexual relationships because I grew up in the false church that taught us sin, shame, and to be ashamed of our bodies, which is the opposite of what we're supposed to be. Naked and unashamed is what they were in the Garden of Eden until someone else told them they should be ashamed of themselves. And masturbation was something you didn't do. You didn't touch yourself. You didn't pleasure yourself. You didn't respect or love your body because it was something to be ashamed of. You were to be covered up all the time. And so, like, exploring my own pleasure, my own sexuality was something that I did not do. And so when I got into relationships with others, I didn't know what to tell them about what I liked or what I didn't like because I didn't really know. And I mean, has anybody else, girls, let's be honest here. Actually, I think the first orgasm I ever really felt was with a girl when we were in that like young middle school exploratory phase, like playing kissy time, and suddenly you're like rubbing up against each other and going to a little hump town, and you're like, oh, well, that feels good, and you're just exploring. Again, I know I'm not the only one. So there's nothing to be ashamed of here. But this is my kid's teddy bear that's coming with me on adventures. Corduroy, would you like to sit here and talk with us about this? Should we let Corduroy go over here? So for me personally, the Kundalini energy that came through in my awakening, and this was something I talked about recently with another friend who, like, suddenly we just started having like these intense orgasms out of nowhere. That it's like, what is happening right now? What is going on?
and it's the Kundalini energy awakening within you. And it's also happening when you're living your highest joy and your highest pleasure. Like, we should be feeling an orgasmic lifestyle. It's what life in general should feel like. When you go back to source, that's kind of how you feel all the time, right? That sounds exciting. That makes me want to go back to source right now. Yeah. Increasing your neuroplasticity is another way to get in touch. But finding your own pleasure. This is something we're going to talk about. I'm going to do multiple videos on. But finding your own pleasure, learning your own body, making a pleasure ritual for yourself, where you are setting aside a certain amount of time that's just for you to feel pleasure, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whether you're putting on some nice music, you're taking a bath, you're lighting a candle, getting some coconut oil, using some toys to help with vibration, because again, we are all vibration, we are all frequency. Vibrators stimulate for a reason, because they bring a vibration to your organs that are meant to feel good. I found a brand that I will share called Yoni Pleasure Palace, of crystal pleasure tools that carry different frequencies. Crystals have different frequencies that heal your tissue. They're also healing your womb tissue as you're using them. My favorite has been a rose quartz, and I think I also got a Amazonite that has been powerful as well to open your throat chakra, because we got to remember our energy flows up from the root, right? Just like plants, we go up from the root. That's like us too. So when you're looking at chakras, and you got your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, you have 15 main chakras, even though we really teach 7. There's so many more than that. But when you have blockages in these, your energy flow gets blocked coming up as well. And when you have blockages in your womb, sacral chakra, it's going to affect what's going up through your solar plexus, through your heart, through your throat. So let's talk this chicklet. The Little Mermaid, my daughter brought this out today. The girl who gave up her voice for love. This is what a lot of us have done. We don't use our voices because of the trauma that we have trapped in our womb. That's a witch wound that you may have heard that term before. But that is a lot of what many of us are experiencing now. Are you ever in situations where you just feel your throat getting scratchy or itchy, or like you're being strangled? You're in a situation where the energy around you, the situation that you're in, is triggering something inside of you that is making you feel that block again. And a lot of that is going to come from what's going on down here as well, into your root, into your sacral chakra. So, ladies and men, because men have an energetic womb as well, this is part of where erectile dysfunction can come from. It blocks in their root and sacral chakras, as well as all of the electronics around us drastically affect your performance in that area as well. So, masturbation, finding your own pleasure, learning how to pleasure yourself so that you can communicate that, articulate that to a loving partner, is crucial. Now, while I say loving partner, because that's the other part of learning your pleasure and unblocking the stuff and learning how to actually have an orgasm that heals your womb tissue, because think about contractions in a muscle. You have a knot in your muscle, you got a knot in your calf. How do you get it out? You rub it, you massage it, you use vibration therapy. You have to move the tissue and work the energy through the tissue to remove that painful spot. Same goes for your womb. So I say loving partner because if you, again, are having an encounter with somebody who is not respecting your energy and your body and the encounter the same way that you are, it's going to leave a negative imprint in your womb tissue. So this brings me to another point of what are we teaching our daughters? What are we teaching our daughters about sex? And what are they doing with their partners? Because if you're not talking to your daughter about what sex is supposed to look like, where is she learning it? Pornography, her friends, other places. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be from reputable, reliable, compassionate, empathetic sources who are giving them valuable information on how to respect their bodies. So this is where we have to heal ourselves in order to also teach our daughters something better so that they are not experiencing the same things that we have experienced. And again, that's a generalization. I know not everybody is walking around carrying a ton of wound trauma, but most of us are. And this is where Handmaid's Tale, where you've got a bunch of women who can't reproduce anymore, that's the direction that we're headed when everybody's wombs are full of trauma. When we have birth defects on the rise, miscarriages, late term, like fetal deaths, like this is because this is related to wound trauma passed down generationally or through past trauma or in your current life. So it is directly affecting our children because the womb that they are growing in, that they are conceived in, is directly affected by the energy that is held within it. And we're headed to that. I mean, we're not because we've already won, but that is where we could have been headed, to a Handmaid's Tale situation where the only women who are actually able to reproduce are the wild women, right? Are the ones who don't follow the rules, who are the ones who are not held back sexually. They're the ones that were free of trauma in their wombs and still able to conceive. So why did they have to go be controlled so much? Why did they have to have so many rigorous control functions over them? Because they were already the ones that had issues with authority to begin with. That's how they got their trauma healed. So orgasm is number one. Number two, movement, dance. Trauma's trapped in your hips, trauma's trapped in your womb. Moving that tissue through dance and moving it especially in a figure eight format, that infinity symbol, is going to be another way to release that trauma. So, what did we talk about today? We talked about how our wombs are full of trauma from generational, past life, and current life scenarios. How we can release that trauma through healthy orgasm, self-exploration and masturbation, dance and movement, unblocking the chakras, especially because our energy is flowing up, stuff that's going on in the root, stuff that's going on in the sacral. Yes, other stuff up here can affect it, but when your energy flows up, what really is affecting that wound trauma is going to be coming up from the roots for the most part, from the roots into the sacral chakra. So, and then what are we teaching our daughters about sex and their partners? Evaluating our partners to have a healthy sexual relationship so that we are not repeating this pattern of womb trauma. So the numbness that you're feeling, pain as well during sex, and there's no real explanation for where the pain is coming from, that's your body already knowing that the partner you have, it's your body rejecting the partner you have because your body already knows that they don't have the same energetic intent. Everybody's got that energy field. We all have an electromagnetic energy field, and your energy field can feel other people's energy fields before this does. Your body already knows. Your body responds to things. Smell is another big one, where you smell somebody. If somebody's scent is like, I married somebody that I constantly was like, God, you stink. Can you take another shower? Why do you stink so bad? My body actually knew, my senses knew he was not an energetic match for me. But my brain, my conditioning, my trauma bonding kept me in a relationship with him for a very long period of time. I just recently got divorced. That's why we've been going through all this, because we're finally breaking trauma bonds and generational cycles. But your body knows before your thinking brain does. So if you're having pain, if your like gut is just like uneasy about it, if you're smelling weird things, if it just feels off, no, this is about having a loving, sacred,
energy exchange with a partner who's going to respect you and worship you as the queen that you are and you deserve to be treated like. So, there we go. There is Sexual Trauma 101. We're going to keep talking more in depth about this, but this is the start of a series of conversations about our sacred sexual energy exchange, how we have been manipulated into just creating this disrespectful existence in sex to load us down with trauma, to keep us out of our intuition, and to keep us out of our power. Because guess what, ladies? When that womb is healed, we are powerful. The patriarchy is scared of that. So, let's give them something to be scared of. Let's heal those wombs. I will share some links for Yoni Pleasure Palace as well because they have some phenomenal tools, and I will share some links for other individuals that I have followed or done workshops with, or just followed some of their information that really truly helped me expand myself in this area during my awakening. Because I will tell you, as I share more of my story, there was a period there in my awakening where I was literally like just in my rental all day long with my rose quartz pleasure tool, having orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. Number one, discovering what I liked. Number two, opening myself up. And number three, healing generations worth of trauma that I didn't need to carry anymore. And trauma from my own life, because I honestly have not had any partners that really truly respected me in the way that I deserved to be respected. And that was part of my own conditioning and part of my own failure to respect myself too. So this is also teaching ourselves self-respect. Okay? Thank you for being here this far. If you have stayed this long, I'm almost at 30 minutes talking about orgasms and sex trauma. So I hope this wasn't too triggering for anyone, because I am also a survivor of sexual assault. And it is something that stays in you. It isn't just something that we're healing up here. It is something that you actually have to physically heal in your tissue as well. So if there is anybody out there that is triggered by this conversation because of your personal sexual experiences, please feel free to reach out. I will also share some resources for you. I'm going to write down what I'm sharing. Yoni Pleasure Palace and some other toys that I have personally enjoyed. Actually, we'll do a whole session. I'll post them out and we'll talk about them. Pleasure tools, rituals, resources, and then I'm also going to share some assault survivor resources, because it's something that we don't talk about enough. It's something that gets pushed under the rug as taboo. When you look at all these organizations that rape kits aren't run, they're piled up, they're just sitting there, and it's like your scenario doesn't matter, or you don't even report because, number one, you're not even sure that what happened to you was rape, and it really was. That I have experience in as well. Or you don't think anyone will believe you. I will tell you, I believe you. I will be the person that believes you. So please feel free to reach out to me personally if you need someone to talk to, because that's what I'm also here for, is to hold space for people who need a safe space to discuss this. And I may not have all the answers for you, but I will certainly help you find the resources and assistance programs or other individuals that can assist you in a way that you need if I am not the person that can do that for you. So thank you for being here. I see you. I believe you. I love you. Let's heal those wombs. Have a good night. Now I am actually going to curl up in my PJs and go night-night.